All right, sorry, Jack and Brian. The recording stopped, so this is part 2. We are on the 31 through 34 section. Okay, this one says basically if it's an exponential function, you rewrite it as a log. If it's a log function, you rewrite it as an exponent. Okay, now here's the deal. 31 is e. Is that an exponential function or a log function? This is an exponential function. It has an exponent, right? 15, okay? So we want to rewrite it as a log function, okay? Now, what's the base of the log going to be?
Log of e.
Log base e of
15, right?
X equals 15. Your base stays the same number. E stays the same number, but your other two numbers switch, right? But the only problem is I don't want to leave it like that because log e, I don't like to leave log e like that. I want to rewrite him as ln, right? So this will say ln of x equals 15, and that's a lot cleaner. Right?
Can I skip the part when I
Yes.
put it a log?
Yes, yes. Okay, so there's that. Got it? Does that make sense? Okay, now let's go over to 33 because this one is an ln. And ln is technically a log, right? Okay, but the problem is if I want to make him an exponential function, I have to first have 3 pieces, and I only have 2 here. Where's my third piece?
E is just
ln is the same thing as log e. So if I rewrite, I'm not doing my flippity-do yet. I am just rewriting ln as log e, and now I'm going to make him an exponential function.
X equal 20.
E to the x power equals 20. That's what he needs to be. Okay? Does that make sense? So you're going to have a step in there where you're switching log e to ln or ln to log e, right? That's how that works. Okay? All right, so do the other two, 32 and 34. See if you can get those ones figured out.
Wow.
yeah.
What?
Um,
They're just all ready to go. They're just fast. They're so fast. So fast. So
That's
fast.
so used to be that
That used to be my favorite thing.
quoting.
Yeah, just
Wow. Okay. Then.
Wow.
45 equals 2x.
Now what if that happened versus me? Yeah.
Let's bring in the x tape together. Just like if you were to
Because 45
solve
there,
that,
there is
You've
x,
got
there's
it.
40 there.
At least this not
solving which
There
way.
is
When are we ever gonna have
45
white trash?
because of it. This is why you can skip
Why
the.
is there Black
Same like
History
here.
Month but no White History
We're
Month?
just skipping the numbers.
Because
And they're
I
talking
was
about
very
racism.
specific month.
No. ln equal ln 45 equal to
Pride
2x.
Month, and then we have Veterans Day.
Yo, Golden VR.
When is right? When is that?
Don't be dumb. I can help you look at it. I can find your reminder.
Be shorter.
For real.
Why do they give the
Or
black
not
people the
being at
shortest
all.
month out of the year? Are they being racist? Just like the snow being white during Black History Month?
You are really American.
Oh heavens! All right, we ready for the next section? Let's do 35 together. Shall we do that one? And then we'll do 38. We'll do 35 and 38.
It's the
Okay.
one who can write down.
I know that.
Okay.
I did.
35. How are we gonna solve that? We gotta solve for x. X is up here. How do we do that?
ln of 120.
Yeah, ln. Okay, so here's options. What you can do is you can switch it to log e and ln and all that stuff, or you can ln both sides. They're equivalent to each other. Okay, I like to do the ln both sides because the ln and e just cancel off really nicely, right? Or you can switch it around as log e and all that good stuff, which is gonna eventually get you to the same spot. So I have ln of 120 on the right side and then 4x on the left side. Okay, then what? I divide by 4, okay? Now, keep in mind that you have to do ln of 120, enter, or close parentheses, and then divide by 4, okay? ln of 120 divided by 4 is not the same thing as ln of 30. Do you see that? ln of 120 divided by 4 is not the same thing as ln of 30, because 120 divided by 4 is 30, I get that. But you have to do ln of 120, so no, don't change that, okay? Don't try to divide before you do ln, okay? What do you get?
1.1969.
1969, rounded correctly and everything.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, 36 is going to be similar to that, except I think it's easier actually.
Yes,
Let's do 38 real quick. Okay, 38. What shall we do?
Log. Or put
Add
it
the
to
5 over.
Let's add the 5 over. Let's add 5, okay? So we've got ln of x plus 3 equals
2 or
3, right? 3, okay? All right, now we're stuck. What do we do?
divide by.
You can't divide by x plus 3. Or you can't divide by 3 or anything like that.
That's a good question.
Is this a log or an exponential function? A log, right? ln is a log, right? ln is a log. And when you're in log form and you get stuck, make it an exponential. When you're in an exponential form and you get stuck, make it a log. Okay? You just switch it to the other form. Why not? Let's try it. Okay? But here's the deal. I have this piece and I have this piece. I need my third piece. What's the third piece? ln is log e, right? Okay, so that's my rewrite. I rewrite ln as log e. So what's the base going to be when I make him exponential?
E of 3.
E to the third power equals
X plus 3.
x plus 3. Okay, now what do I do?
E to the 3.
Whatever e to the third power is. What's e to the third power?
20.0855.
20.0855, okay, equals x plus 3. And then
Subtract.
just subtract 3, right? And that is going to be like 17.0855.
Yeah.
Okay, rounded to 4 decimal places. Does that make sense? If you ever are in log form and you get stuck, make it an exponential. If you're ever in exponential form and you get stuck, make it a log, right? That's all you have to do is just go back and forth between the two. So think, if you're stuck, all right? Okay, go ahead and do 37 and 36 and see if you can figure out those. And then we'll move on to the next chunk. Cheater,
Huh?
use your calculator. I saw that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's math class.
Sure.
It's not English.
39 is kind of tricky, actually.
It's not that hard.
Well, if you have a calculator, it's not hard. Little
Okay.
Cheater.
No, I just put 32 over 2 for logs, and then you just do that
What do you
equals
even
3 of
write?
x.
Whatever.
It's not that hard. You just.
Jordan, what do you even write?
All right, are you ready for the next section?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want you to write something.
I gotta hold on.
Then the wash like the skin is. Yeah, that's not right. Gordon, even your right handwriting is not
X equals 8.6 repeating, actually.
really. Yes.
Oh, you best comment.
Okay. All right. So 39 through 42. I just want you to take a look at these next 4 as a whole, right? Okay. Take a look at these next 4 as a whole. 39. Here's your equal sign. I have a log over here and a number or no log over there, right? Same thing with 40. I have a log just on one side and no log on the other side, or like a number over here. Versus 41 and 42, I have a log here and a log here. So strategies for 41, 42, you're going to cancel. But you can only cancel one at a time, right? So if there's 2 that you have to put together, you got to be careful of that. I don't think you have to put anything together here. 42 is the same way. You got logs on each side, okay? Let's do number 39. What do you do when you don't have a log on the other side to cancel with it?
Not actually a long pipe
Oh,
is.
yeah. It is for swallowing your water.
What do you do? What do you do when there's a log on one side and nothing on the other side? Yeah, if you're stuck, he's a log. Let's make him an exponential function. If you get stuck, switch him to the other form, okay? So what's his base?
What?
2 to the 3.
2 to the
Oh,
3x equals 32. And now what do? If I put a log back in there, I'll be at the same spot I was before,
I
right?
made this.
Let's look at these two numbers. 2 and 32. 2 won't break down, so 2 to the 3x stays 2 to the 3x. But 32, can he be like 2 to something? 2 to the 5th power, right, is 32. So I try to make those the same base, and now what happens?
The 2 goes.
The 2's cancel out, so I have 3x equals 5, right?
So
And then
3/5.
divide by 3, so x is 5 over 3. I would just leave him as 5 over 3. Okay, you can change him to a fraction, whatever, or mixed number, I don't care. Okay. 40 is that same way, but it's a lot easier. Okay, so if you ever get stuck on a log, change it to an exponential function, unless you can cancel it out. Okay,
40 is easy.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
what are you doing?
I'm just gonna turn it.
I'm done.
What?
You're gonna turn it.
43.
This is
It's actually not that loud.
That is really
glad
loud.
we were good.
This is.
Whatever I was playing on my TV didn't.
We had to get a sound bar.
On some TVs, 40 is really loud.
Yeah, on my TV at home, 40 is really loud. No, on my living room TV, my kitchen TV, 40 is really quiet.
Are you
50
the
or
type of
40.
person that has to have it at like
I turned the
fives?
Xbox on.
like your
Yes,
My dad
yes.
is the one who is
Or at
setting
least
my
an
TV.
even number.
yeah?
Like it can't be at 31. I'm like, nope, we gotta turn it to 30. Like,
Oh, this
In
is
our
kind of
family,
loud.
Yeah,
like,
we started.
50 is like a
It
good
is so
Yeah.
such a loud
I don't know my
I'm
hand.
done with
You gotta ram.
That's not really
not telling you.
Well, that's also
And
surround
we
sound,
don't
so
have
it's
like
like
rubber.
different.
yeah,
It's fine.
yeah.
Mine's is called
Yes, dear.
Can you do?
40? Sure. So what are you gonna do?
I don't care. I read many times.
Convert it. So 3 to the
Second.
second equals
9.
9c. What is 3 to the second power? 9 equals
Divided by
9c.
9.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna divide this 9 from here over to here. Okay, so what's 9 divided by 9? 1.
He's calling.
Rose calling.
42?
It has to be
Sure.
C equals
42. So did you cancel the logs? X equals 2x minus 1. Okay, then what do we have to do? What would you like to move? What? I have to get the x's together, right? So, I mean, let's go ahead and subtract this 2x. What is x minus 2x?
Minus X.
minus.
Like negative 1x, right? Equals negative 1.
Minus.
Okay? And then divide by negative 1. What's negative 1
Plus
divided by
1.
negative 1?
X plus 1.
Hey, that's another
You know what I
1.
mean?
Those two are both 1s.
That one you
What?
put 1 equals C, but it has to be C equals
C equals 1, yeah. Yeah, C equals 1. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Good, good.
I'm that way with the
Now we just have 3 story problems and we got lots of time left.
Yeah, the
Perfect.
inequalities,
Do we
the
have
X's
to?
on the side.
Are there story problems on
You're like that, you're that way. What?
Problems on the test?
Dude, those snowflakes are.
Are
quite
there story
large.
problems on the test? Yes.
Of course.
Why?
Yes. That's the whole reason why we're doing this whole chapter, is so you can solve story problems.
No, that's all.
Uh-huh.
What is this?
Alright, are we ready for story problems?
Why do I have this? Yes.
People dying in Africa.
Is this an assignment?
Yes. We turned that in after we did the quiz. So, put that in my tray. Sorry. Okay. Are you guys ready for story problems? Should we do all 3 of them together? Yes? Okay. 43 is actually the hardest one of all of them. 44 and 45 are easy, okay? We're talking about population of rabbits. Okay, check this out. I love population of rabbits because look at how fast they multiply. We know rabbits multiply really fast, right? Do we know that rabbits multiply really fast? Because their gestational period is like 3 months, and then they can have babies like immediately again after that. It's ridiculous.
And they die.
What rate are they growing at? 26%. You know, in like like when we were talking about like money growing, we have like 3%, and like 26%. Woo! Those rabbits are increasing rapidly. All right, now hold on. If you are working ahead of me, don't work ahead of me because I'm going to show you something. Okay? Because there's a trick to this, and I'm not going to be so tricky on the test, but beware of this. Okay? So this is like our A, right? Okay? How many bunnies are we starting with?
8,000.
8, but here's the trick. P is in thousands. Okay? P is in thousands. So when we want our population to be 25,000 at the end, we are not going to plug 25,000 in for A. What are you going to plug in for A?
200.
Just 25.
Oh, yeah.
Because we want it to be in the same units. So 25 is in thousands and 8 goes here. So beware of that. I won't be so tricky like that on the test, but the units are in thousands, so you want that to be 25 and not just not 25,000, okay? Now we go through and solve. These ones are harder to solve because you're solving for t, and anytime we have to solve for t, we go, ugh. If we're solving for a, then that's nice. We just get to plug stuff in, okay? But solving for t is a little bit uglier. What are you going to do first? Not yet.
Divide by 8.
Divide by 8. We've got to divide by 8 first, okay? That is like 3.125.
Yep.
Yes, equals e to the 0.26 t power. Okay, now what do we do?
Or LN.
ln, because we want to cancel the e. ln and e cancel each other. Now, just on the right side, not on the left, we still have ln of 3.125 on the left, right? Equals, and then that stuff comes down. 0.26 times t.
We want the
Okay.
0.26.
Yeah, now I have to get rid of the 0.26, so I'm going to divide it over. Divide by 0.26. Okay, you need to make sure that you either close the parentheses after you do your ln or hit enter first, and then divide by 0.26. And time is like 4 point something.
4.3824.
3824. I don't care how many decimal places. When you're doing the story problems, as long as you give me one decimal place, that's fine. Okay, so 4.4 years would be okay. Otherwise, the ones that we're solving up here, like make sure you round to the 10,000th 4 decimal places like they want, okay? But if we're doing a story problem, 4.4 years is going to be fine, okay? All right. Okay, this next one, radioactive decay. For some reason, they're using the PERT equation. This is actually the equation for PERT for radioactive decay, which can happen. They just have, like, switched things around and whatever else, okay? But they use weird variables. They still use A here, but they use A sub-zero, or A naught is what they call it. Like A, K-N-O-T is what it's called, A naught. Okay, A sub-zero means, like at a time of 0, what's the starting value? That's just P. Okay, so that sub-zero is not doing anything. A sub-zero just means at a time of 0, what's the, like, that's the starting value. Or they call it the initial amount, okay? That's just P. We still have E, we still have T. But notice that this is a negative number, okay? Because it is decay. So one thing that you can do is rather than using the decay formula that I told you, the 0.5 one, you can make that exponent negative and that will reflect a decay, okay? So that's what they've done here. So when you type it in, make sure you type that in as a negative. They are saying blah, 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 blah. Assume that you are starting with 50 grams of a radioactive element. Where does the 50 go? 50 is P, or A sub-zero, whatever that number is, right? E to the negative 0.04463. That's a huge number, or like a long decimal. How much? What are we solving for?
T. No.
How much? How much after 10 days? 10 goes in for T. We're solving for the after amount. So they want to know after 10 days, and then they want to know after 30 days. Okay, so if you plug in 10, now, real quick, you're starting with 50 and we're decaying. So I know this number should be less than 50, right? Okay, so if you get a number bigger than 50, you didn't do it right. So it should be like 30, is it 30?
31.9996.
9996 grams is what's left over after 10 days, okay? Then if you do it again and you plug in 30 this time, it's like, I don't remember if it's like 12 or 17 or something like that. 30 days is how many grams?
13.1067.
1067 grams, okay? And that seems appropriate, like it's decaying in value, right? 50 is what you're starting with, and then you're going down, right? Matthew, when he typed this in the first time, after 10, he got 81. I'm like, I know that's wrong. I don't even have to listen to the decimal. I know it's wrong because he didn't put the negative in there, okay? So it was reflecting a growth, actually. So he would have been right if it was positive, but there's that, okay? Good? Any questions about that? Those are just typing in. We like those because you're just solving for A, right? Just typing it in. There's no rearranging and solving for T like we did up here, okay? 45, they don't give us an equation for 45. We have to come up with the equation. It says the population is growing continuously. Which equation do we use for continuous? You remember? We had a name for it. We used it already. Twice. PERT. Yep, A equals, this is continuous compounding, PE to the RT power. Okay, the rate is 3%. That's R, but it's not 3. 0.03. We move the decimal 2 places, okay? And the biggest mistake I see people make is they will plug in 0.3 for R. Well, you move the decimal, but not enough, right? It's not 0.3, that would be 30%. 3% is 0.03, okay? If the population is now 5 million, what goes in for 5? P is 5. What will it be in 17 years' time? That is T. What are we solving for? A. A is what we don't know. And we like it when we're solving for A because we just get to type it in. So 5 is what we're starting with. Okay, and it's 5 million. Okay, so keep in your mind, like, if we're starting with 5 million in 17 years, approximately how much should it be? Like, it shouldn't be less than 5, right? If we're growing. Rate is 0.03 times 17. Okay, practice typing that in, see what you get. It's like 8.3265, and that's in the millions. Okay, so that many million, which seems appropriate. 5 million is going to turn into 8 million in 17 years. We are definitely not growing as fast as the bunnies, for sure, right? But, I mean, 5 million is turning into 8 million. It's still a growth. Got it? Questions about that? Okay. Tomorrow, if we have school tomorrow. If we don't have school tomorrow, we'll do it on Friday. But the next time we are together, we'll get some whiteboards out, and then I may give you a note card, and you can write whatever you want on that note card and things. I'll give you some things that you should write on there, but you can write whatever you want on the note card, and then we'll do some whiteboards, okay?
So we don't get to use this.
No. Okay? All right. Goodbye, people watching this video.